Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Trails Beyond the Horizon. Alright, let's get that. Alright, and what will we do? Alright, so we've got two routes to pick. Ring or Kevin? Let's see. Roll a die. 1, 2, or 3, we get Ring. 4, 5, or 6, we get Kevin. Kevin, round 1. Liberal. And from Liberal, the Principality of Elsheim. And we're heading to Tharbad. July 9th, 12:09, 2:10 p.m. Dingo. Of course, Dingo knew Rufus. Legend of Fish Trails Beyond the Horizon. Yep. How we doing? You're going, Licia. The kaboom. Yeah. She's so cute. Yeah, yay. What's the job? But we're in my favorite city in the Daybreak games. Dun, dun. Too hot for a picnic. Yeah. Oh, so cute. No. uh, she's been talking to Dorothy. The Swin Abel. Nadia Rain. 3 and 9. Ooh, we haven't been to the Al Jumeirah since Daybreak 1. July 9th, 3 p.m. Ding, ding. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. The beat, the pool. Can't say I ever expected reservations at a luxury hotel, Rufus. But considering you used to be a big shot nobleman, I'm guessing stuff like this is just your normal everyday, huh? I was never fond of flaunting my wealth, honestly. This kind of extravagance is just as new to me as it apparently is to you. I must say, however, given the nature of your missions in the past, I had also assumed you'd spent your fair share in the lap of share of time in the lap of luxury. Yeah, I can't exactly say you're wrong, but it's definitely been a while. The loudmouth on my hands that sort of gets in the way, you know? What this actually kind of reminds me of. I see. Being the fifth comes with its own set of struggles. By the way, speaking of the Grelser, I've heard the church has been paying particular attention to your airships of late. Yeah, can't let my guard down around you for 1 sec, can I? Guessing that means you know all the details then. You know, about why I made that request. You flatter me. More importantly, however, you know as well as I do that my back is against the wall here, Father Kethervin. And coupled with my status as a dead man, well, I'd say it makes me rather expendable, wouldn't you agree? Sheesh, make me sound like a villain, why don't you? I guess it's nice to know I have the option. She walked into her own trap. She walked into her own trap. Oh, Reese and Rufina. Rufus Nap. This is delicious, and the cream's so sweet and rich. Is it yogurt, maybe? Something gentle yet sour? Well, whatever it is, it does an absolutely amazing job at tying all these flavors together. Apparently, it's made from both camel's milk and fresh cacao. Van told us it's got his very own seal of approval. And look at how classy it is, especially with all that pomegranate and those pistachios. When we mentioned we'd be visiting Tharbad, Van wouldn't stop bugging us about coming here. Said we needed to report back on our experience. So make sure you shoot him a message later, alright? Oh, that reminds me. Maybe I should send a few pics to Aggie and the others too. Just to brag a little, you know? Seconds, please. You're done already? Sheesh, those people in the back put their all into making that thing and you just scarf it down. Ever heard of savoring the flavors? Actually, I believe that's exactly what she's doing. Perhaps even more so than the average gourmet. Though it may look as if she's simply gorging herself, she's actually focusing the entirety of her processing power into the act of consumption. Guess there really isn't anything rude about. Wait, what the heck is Rosenberg even doing with this technology? Thank you. LP, look over here. I want to send a photo to Aggie real quick. To, yes? Good idea. Glad I'm not stuck being the sole voice of reason for once. Nothing. Isn't it about time you told us what's going on? Great. Oh yeah, Rufus mentioned you were here for business. And whatever that business is, you must want our help with it, huh? And truth be told, I've yet to hear any solid details about his situation myself. However, I assume that's only because he has so far been unable to speak on it. Got it in one. Trust me when I say I've got my reasons, alright? That also means I'm going to avoid any making definitive statements about the future. At least until we know what exactly the situation is. Now, I can't really say this will be a first for us, but true, we've definitely dealt with our fair share of super secret forest PGs in the past. Although the ones given them out were usually pretty sketch. But considering this is coming from a Dominion, I guess I don't need to be too worried. Sorry, I didn't quite catch all that. Dominions are the ones at the top of the Grouse Raider hierarchy, right? Maxilis or Gaius? Oh, and Bergard at one point. I am consistently surprised by your connections, but yes, you're right. Which means that, as the fifth, I can make sure you're paid handsomely for any and all aid you're willing to offer. Ah, that would that would be a good reason. Hmm. Hmm. Pillar of salt. Not a salt peel. Hmm. Yes. Oops. Poor Rufus. Literally. Poor Nadia. Oh dear. July 10th, 10 a.m.
Oh, she's awake. Didn't sleep well, huh? I told you to relax. Rooms are actually pretty comfy once you get used to them. Ian has been really kind so far. Seems Ferry was right about this place after all. As well where that came from, feel free to ask for seconds. Yeah, I guess, but I'm still annoyed. After all that time at the pool yesterday, and last night's amazing dinner, how could I not want more? Now that I think about it, I suppose we would have been able to afford the night there had I rented a lesser car. What? Cut him some slack. I know he may look like he's got it all together, but remember, the guy was weighted on hand and foot for most of his life. I know, but still. I guess I'll have to give up my dream of staying in a six-star hotel someday. Oof, like dust in the wind. I'm sorry, Nadia. You must have really wanted to have breakfast there, didn't you? That's not why she's so upset, Lapis. Look, I'll save up the cash so I can take you there one day myself. Sound good? I'll even set up the reservation for one of our anniversaries. It'll just be the two of us. Oh, stop! You're really putting on a show this morning, Nadia. Anyway, you alright with us tagging along today? Even if we didn't end up coming to an agreement last night? Yeah, it's fine. The situation's pretty up in the air at the moment anyway. Should give me a chance to see your skills in action, too. Gotta make sure they're up to par, you know? See, when I said I don't plan on forcing either of you to do anything you don't want to on this mission, I meant it. But that being said, I'd rather not have our chances of success lowered because you two end up wavering when it matters. Understand? We'll show you what we're capable of. Nothing more, nothing less. Just know that we'll be watching you two. Fine with me. Hi, Millie. Bye, Millie. I'll warn you, there ain't much to see. Then it's settled. Today we'll be spending time in each other's company. So let's get... Wait, where are we going? Well, first we'll need to do some poking around to see what we can dig up. Like I said before, still don't have the info I need to make sense of the situation. Well, it'd help if you told us. You know what, never mind. It'll probably be fine if we just wander around like Van and the others do, right? Sounds like a good idea to me. You're gonna need to be the one doing the sniffing around in that case. Well, I don't exactly got Arkard's nose for things, but let's get going. Might be worth lending a helping hand to some people in the area too. You know, how he does. I figured you might say as much. That's why I made it a point to spread rumors of our presence last night. I imagine there should be a few 4SPGs waiting for us already. And fortunately, we know a pair with ample experience in that line of work. Oh, 4SPGs are those things that get posted on the back of bulletin boards, right? I'm so jealous. You guys must have had so much fun on those jobs, and all without me. Emphasis on jobs, Lapis. Anyway, you really do use every trick in the book, don't you? Did you get Van's permission for this? No, but as long as we refrain from abusing his system, I doubt he'll find fault in our methods. Plus, we can always explain ourselves when we next get in touch with him. I expect the two of you will put in a good word for us when the time comes. Gift him a few rare sweets, and I bet he'll pretend it never even happened. You're
probably right. Let's just get a move on already, yeah? Yeah, use it, please. Everyone knows it. You guys got it rough, huh? Alright, folks. Time for us to play Spriggan. Let's head out to check those bulletin boards we saw earlier. Let's. And when we have a chance, I'd also like to teach you both our new battle tactics. Oh, right. Marduk's new cheat system? Might also be a good idea to see if the guilds put out any monster subjugation requests recently. Oh, and maybe we can grab a few snacks along the way. While Lepus does not actively participate in battle, he'll provide various forms of support and is an extra member. That reminds me, Arkrod made a request of us during the social gathering at Marduk's headquarters. He would like our testimonials on any suites we happen upon that warrant the recommendation. Oh yeah? For his review blog, right? That definitely sounds like Van. Yep, and he's got the perfect foodies on the job. I see, so in exchange for fresh material, we get post-facto approval on completed 4SPGs. Indeed, we ought to take him up on it. I can sort out our 4SPG reports. Would you mind handling the blog end of things, Lapis? Piece of cake, with a spot of tea on the side. Atta girl, LP. Always lightening the workload. We're lucky to have you two with us. We'll just roll with it that way then. We're in the bad. Now, alternate outfits. Cherub shot, spear of fur. No, they got rid of his good one. Do that. Go there. And do that. And take Soul Flare. Nebulous Cannon, Cosmic Thrust. Hehe. First things first. Did you get enough? I'm happy that you seem to enjoy your meal. If you're going out, then you'd better hurry. I'll prepare a nice dinner for when you get back. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, the food here is yummy, so let's work up an appetite while making the rounds. Welcome to the Halal Tavern and Inn. I hear you know that Spriggan guy. He and his company really helped us out, so you guys are welcome too. That's right, Van and the others did stay here last year. In that case, we might get more information than we would have otherwise. That's the hope, anyway. Halal Tavern and Inn is the best lodging in the cultural district. Your pleasant stay is guaranteed. My mum's cooking is delicious too. It's even popular with the merchants. Every day is sweltering. I feel like the sun is especially strong this year. I suppose Tharbad is in the middle of a desert. Naturally, finding ways to cool off during breaks is a sort of tradition around here. So you can expect me to take it easy until tonight's business meeting. I send caters to us merchants, which is why I always come in here to take it easy. I gave Hala a souvenir. All that's left is making sure the business meeting goes well. Oh, is someone calling? Yeah, it's... Tilly? Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful now. It's been about 2 years, right? Heard you bumped into Lapis and the others at Marduk's HQ. Yep, we even ate a few snacks together at, the High Tree? They were simply divine. I think you mean High Tea. But anyway, we weren't expecting to hear from you. I have a suspicion you're not calling as an alumnus of Thor's now, are you? Sharp as ever, I see. Correct. I am not calling as an alumnus of Thor's. Instead, I am calling on behalf of the Epstein Foundation regarding one of Marduk's former commissions. You're talking about that thing Celise and Leon dealt with, aren't you? The Märchen Garten operation? That's the one I helped with. Oh no, I'm getting a bad feeling about all this. What, did the Society take it over or something? Wouldn't be surprised if the Oath broke it. No, actually, considering what happened 2 years ago. Oh, you think this has something to do with that creepy old guy? Professor Novartis. I'm afraid his presence is unconfirmed at the moment. However, we've recently spotted a young woman inside whose coat of arms bears a resemblance to the Society's. They're almost certainly connected. I imagine either Novartis or the Fool are involved as well, considering their proficiency with technology, I mean. They independently operate an advanced face-based network, I'm told. The Astral Code, was it? Guess that little collaboration of yours gave you some pretty valuable insight, huh? Anyway, we're on the case, Altina. We'll help investigate this grim garden of yours, or whatever it's called. You sure came to that decision fast. You're not even gonna let us talk it over? Look, I know it probably doesn't have anything to do with why we're here in Tharbad, but I've heard these garden places can be all kinds of useful. Plus, I imagine trekking through it will give us some insight into what the Society's up to, which we could also use as bargaining chips. You know, when exchanging info with Arkwright and the Thor's folks. Ugh. Huh? Hmm? Well, I appreciate you agreeing to help. We'll reward you for your assistance too, of course. I'll send the portal locating search application to your Zypher now. I believe there should be one somewhere in either the cultural or entertainment district. Once you find it, go ahead and access it, and try accessing it. Hmm? What? Oh, it's nothing. I was just thinking about how quick you are to use people for your own benefit, particularly Van and Tilly. Just about that bargaining chip thing I said. Come on, we all got things we're hiding. Nadia, I'm just trying to give them a little incentive to share. Not that I'm expecting them to tell us anything useful about the garden, though. We're all exploring in separate sections, apparently. Should be interesting. It'll give me a chance to see what you two are really made of, at least. Bring it on. Would you stop trying to pick a fight over everything? Anyway, we've had a few experiences with the Mirren Garden ourselves, so we won't slow you down. Yeah, they got this in the bag. And sadly, I'll probably be stuck on support duty. In any event, let's be on the lookout for portals going forward. Shard Search is now available in Kevin's route. Access to the Grim Garden will be available upon finding a portal in Tarbad. So much. A hammam is perfect for a hot day like today. It'll wash away your sweat and leave you feeling refreshed. We had a drought last year, but nothing major since. I am so thankful that Professor Hamilton and the Verne Company did that irrigation work for us 20 years ago. I heard about that from Van's group. Apparently the water is drawn here from the oasis. When it almost straight up, the professor and the others did some construction work, right? That's right. You could say Tharbad is indebted to Professor Hamilton. Well, this was 20 years ago, so a lot of people seem to have forgotten what she did for us. People from the capital came up with a solution after last year's drought. Which reminds me, rumor's been going around since yesterday. Apparently that crew's back. If so, I'd like to say hi. Sounds like Archangel and his group are well respected here. Indeed. It was worth spreading that rumor. Let's bathe in the hammam. Bum, bum, bum. This is the bird's rainy season, you know? Even if it's hot, we still get rain. Sudden squalls can cause water to rise rapidly and drop the levels in the underground waterway too. Desert sand doesn't really retain water either, giving us another thing to contend with. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, there are some more characters. Sarah and Shahina. Damn, that girl's got some moves. Now, this might be the first time we've actually seen them do their thing. Mario! Congratulations, Mario. Yeah, last time we saw each other was when we did that school festival show, right? Hi to you too, Sarah. Thanks for giving us a hand with that, by the way. Sorry, pleasure to meet you. Imagine my luck, running into the stunning sisters who danced their way onto everyone's tongues in the silver screen. Why the confusion, Mario? Oh, that's right, you only saw the fairy version of me before. Ah, that would explain it. Do you at least remember me, Miss Aim? Oh yeah, guess you technically did meet Rufus before. Mm-hmm. The, on the day of the school festival, I couldn't help noticing that Van and crew were there one moment and then gone the next. With me scratching my head, but I just carried on with my field reporting until suddenly someone called out to me. And from there I was led to that weird place, through the house and whys of it all are still way beyond me. Seriously though, I can't thank you two enough for what you did back then. You've nothing to thank us for. We were only repaying a debt after all. Exactly. After all the kindness he showed me, it was only right to show him some in return. Not sure I'm following, but glad to hear you were there for her. So this guy is your leader, and the girl's his little sister, and a priest on top of that. Makes me wonder what it is that ties you together. You and me both. Our group's so all over the place now that I can't come up with a name for us. Why not the picnic? Why not the picnicking front again? That never worked in the first place. You know, Arkwright and I actually go back a fair ways. Used to pal it up all the time with Dingo Brad too. So no need for the suspicion, okay? Just treat me like you treat any other traveling clergyman. And you really are with the church then. I guess it's okay in that case. My sister and I are greatly indebted to Van, so we trust he's a good judge of character. Indebted, huh? Is that all it is? Shahina, can we leave a good first impression, please? Uh-huh. Well, either way, I'll be looking forward to seeing that homecoming performance you two are putting on. As for you, Mario, I'm betting you've got all sorts of other topics to tackle. Yep, I'm actually here on a business trip to cover a certain movie that's in the works. In fact, I've even got a meeting with its director and sponsors later. Well, now I'm curious. You're a lot busier than we expected, though. Just try not to push yourself too hard, okay? This is nothing. My schedule's still got plenty of wiggle room for rest days. But you know, all the hustle's really making me realize how incredible Dingo was. He was juggling reporter work and side gigs while still keeping a personal life without a sweat. Personal life, huh? I always took the guy for a 24/7 workaholic. No, well, this is just something Mel Magazine's editor-in-chief told me, but apparently whenever Dingo finished up with a major piece, he always put in time off for a vacation. One of them was actually here in Tharbad, funnily enough. He came back a little after the film festival incident last year. Really? That whole thing was such a mess, though. But thanks to Van and the rest of Arkwright Solutions, the city was back to normal in only about a month or so. Well, there's to be definitely less of a crowd than during the event. Makes for a more relaxing stay that way. You really know your stuff, Onion Head. Like I always say, perfect time to go on vacay is when everyone else is slaving away at their 9 to 5s. I don't think that's the point he was trying to make. If only I could have seen what the festival food stalls were selling. Given that it seems to have ended on a happy note, I'm sure you'll have another opportunity to partake in the future. Anyhow, I hope you guys make it to our homecoming performance. It's going to be so much fun. There are plenty of local attractions to enjoy as well. I have a few recommendations if you're interested. Lay 'em on us. Oh, and while we're rubbing elbows, don't hesitate to get in touch if you need any help. Can even assist with matters of the heart. After all, listening to the troubles of lost lambs is all in a day's work for a man of the cloth. That's not. What a clown. You sure you're from the church, not the circus? Hey, have some faith in me. I'm as priestly as they come. Well, that was a lovely chat. But what were we meant to be looking into exactly? Only the father here can say, though he looks to have obtained the exact answers he needed. He did? During a conversation just now? Nothing gets by you, does it? Couldn't have gotten them to lower their guards for me on my own, though, so props where they're due. Now then, on to our next little activity. You smelly, rotten. Leave it just a means to an end then, huh? Have it your way. Out of curiosity, can we fish at the Oasis? I mean, it shouldn't be specifically off limits. Hungry for some Thabadi seafood, are we, LP? I wouldn't be opposed to scrimping on every bit of mirror we can. Oh, buddy, you guys will get on board with anything. Small wonder you end up calling yourselves the picnicking front. We caught a rock eater. Nope. Let's go fishing. Is that, no, it's a regular carp. We want the big one. There you are. Now that's level 3. Rod. Hello there. We've got space program merchandise for sale. According to the government, the program is nearly at its climax. It's hard not to be over the moon. You'll be staying here for about a week, making it a vacation of sorts, with some performances on the side. Perhaps your meeting here is fate telling you to take it all easy too. Seeing you two reminds me of the show at the Aramis Academy Festival, Nadia. Swin. I've got to work hard for our homecoming performance so that I'm at least as good as the Aramis students were. I'll be covering those two closely while I'm out here. Sisters on site. Local Ertor sisters prepare homecoming performance. It's just what the papers are looking for. I'll follow in Dingo's footsteps and finish the article in my downtime. I've got an appointment for an interview tomorrow about a new movie, so I've got to get prepped for that. I'll follow in Dingo's footsteps and finish the article in my downtime. Too much power. My little brother and I are tour guides. We were just showing people the Oasis when the performance started. Sarah and Shahina are back. They sure have become popular. We've been following them since the start, so it's satisfying to see. We've known Sarah and Shahina for a long time. Just like them, we're siblings who work together. Since our life stories are similar, we find ourselves empathizing with each other. Sarah and Shahina are just so impressive. They came home famous, and now they're going to do a homecoming performance. I could cry. I absolutely have to see it. You can't have Tharbad without the hot sun and dry air. I'd be hard pressed to say they're pleasant for visitors from the capital, but as someone born and raised here, it's the perfect place to replenish your spirit. I have to use this opportunity to charge my batteries to the fullest. I'm glad my mum and little brother seem to be doing well. They're the reason I can do my best in the capital. My big sister is beautiful, and she's also really smart and really popular around the neighborhood. Arya is a hardworking young woman. She seems to be raring to go wherever she goes. That's why I'd at least like her to try and relax while she's here in her hometown. Excuse me, sir. Are you perchance a traveling priest? As the vicar of Tharbad, I will provide you with whatever help I can. I appreciate it. Look forward to working together while I'm in town. Huh? Seems awfully understanding. If I remember right, the Dominions are specifically affiliated with the Congregation for the Sacraments. Not usually on good terms with priests belonging to the Congregation for Divine Worship. Really? Well, it does seem like there have been some developments within the church. It's likely connected. I've heard rumors about you, but I was told you would be coming. There's no need for further chit-chat. As the Vicar of Tharbad, I will provide you with whatever help I can. Apparently, Tharbad's changed a lot over the last 20 years or so. We've built luxury hotels, erected the entertainment district. Some things haven't changed. Our faith and traditions are the same as ever. I'll be sure to pray again today so that Arusha will continue to bless us with her guidance. Oh, are you a traveling priest? I wasn't told you'd be here today. Maybe the vicar knew? Sorry, I'm only dropping by. No need to make a fuss. I just figured that since I'm here, I'd attend a Central Eastern style service. Is that so? Well, if you need anything at all, please let me know. I guess that's to be expected. Even she seems to think you're just a traveling priest. I wonder what the phony father is investigating. In the Central East, people believe that Arusha, the winged goddess, and Aetius, the sky goddess, are one and the same. We simply interpret her differently. We all still adhere to the Septian beliefs. Please feel free to say a prayer in the temple. Boom, boom, boom. Good grief. Young people these days get swapped up in every little fad. Recently, it's all about this. It's been all about this T-phone thingamajig and its shameful diversions. It's corrupting their minds. Now is the time to return to a traditional, modest lifestyle. Come now, Abdullah. People are still inventing useful things. Even the Oasis's irrigation owes its success to the Republic's technological prowess. Nothing will get better if everyone remains apathetic. I'm going into the Bracer Guild after the ads. Seems like Sarah and Shahina are back in Tharbad. They even made their movie debuts recently. I can't help but admire them. I've got to practice as much as I can so that one day I can dance alongside them. Wonder if anyone checked the bulletin board. I don't know what's going to happen. I really need someone to look into it as soon as possible. Seems like he posted some kind of request on the bulletin board. Maybe we should take a look. Long time no see, Imani. Clem, what are you doing in Tharbad? Did you come to see me? Yep, my dad suggested we take a day off, so I begged him to bring me here. I bought you a present too. Yeah, it's my favorite picture book. Ah, thanks. Let's read it together, Clem. Okay. Me and Imani became friends last time I took a trip here. She said she wanted to hear about the fairy tales in the West, so I bought a picture book. Clem told me we'd see each other again, but he actually came back. It sounds like he's gonna be here for a while, too. So I gotta show him lots of fun places. Clem became friends with a local child the last time we took a family trip here. It sounds like they promised to see each other again, so I'm glad we came. Camel. A lot of people are taking time off from work due to all the space program craze. I won't deny jumping on the bandwagon myself. We come to Tharbad? Clem requested we come to Tharbad, so here we are. Last time we came, something happened while we were en route, causing my family a lot of trouble. But this time we'll enjoy ourselves, the Central Eastern way, even if it is the height of summer. This is a shisha. a well-known Central Eastern hookah. Didn't some illegal stuff make the rounds during last year's film festival and cause a lot of trouble? Why, aren't you well informed? Oh, who could have guessed you'd have heard about the Orbital shishas? As I understand it, those were collected by the authorities due to containing unapproved components. It's a shame for all the people who got caught up in that sordid affair, but I assure you, there's nothing wrong with traditional shishas. Of course, I can't recommend it to minors, but you fellas should give it a try. You're a smooth one. I did hear rumors about that incident. Apparently, they didn't tell the public that the shishas had a drug extracted from a certain plant. You know that girl Sinem who helps out at the bazaar? I feel like I haven't seen her since this morning. I'm a little worried. Upgrade what I can. And we are back from the ads. Are these spices for vegetables? That's right. We carry most Central Eastern ingredients. Now, spices are particularly popular in Western countries, and Tharbad has long served as a sort of liaison for such flavors. Even nowadays, traders order them from me. The rarest spices are said to be worth more than their weight in gold. So I can understand why this oasis city has become such a hub for trade. I sent my daughter out on an errand and she still hasn't come back. I thought Imani had grown to be reliable, but maybe she's not there yet. Project Star Taker, was it? Sounds like it's pretty popular. I haven't really been following the news, but nowadays they're showing stuff about it even on the streets. The President and that astronaut are pretty much ingrained in my memory now. Seeing as they're fellow citizens of the Republic, can't help but want to cheer for them too. And we buy those. Hello there. We've got traditional Central Eastern camel meat for sale, as well as goat. Camel, like the pack animal? Does it really taste good? But of course, camel dishes are a staple in the Central East. From spiced stews to kebabs cooked over an open flame. You're drooling. We did just eat, but maybe it's worth a try. Camels are more familiar to us people of the desert than any other creature. After all, you only need a little bit of water and grass to raise them, and they're a valuable source of protein. We're real thankful for them. Alright, now look at this. Alright, now we cook. Any other recipes that need to be made? Nope. Alright, Brace a Guild. Ah, are you a traveling priest? We don't see many of you at our guild branch. The temple has never notified us of any developments, though. I'm just here on a little investigation. Nothing worth fussing over, really. An investigation for the church? What about, I have to wonder? And two of these people accompanying you. I think we're setting off our warning bells. Well, neither of us really look like the usual crowd a traveling priest would be running with. Though I wouldn't say we're the biggest sore thumbs in the group. What to assume? Are you the pair who were acting as substitutes for the Spriggan and Edith last spring? We've heard rumors. We've heard about your collaboration with Elaine as well. Our branches share information, you see. Redlight, the guild's mining our personal data. It keeps us both on a leash and close at hand in case of an emergency. Two precautions for the price of one. This might put a kind of a damper on things. On the contrary, it may work to our advantage. No doubt. Afraid we're going to have to capitalize. As it happens, we're currently carrying out 4 SPGs on behalf of that very same Spriggan. You are? Does that make this an extension of what Swin and Nadia were doing before then? After a fashion, yes. To that end, we're assisting the good father with his investigation. Even still, our reports don't mention a thing about you. So I'm inclined to ask for a more detailed account. Not to mention, he bears a striking resemblance to... No, my imagination's just running wild. Suppose I could take Swin and Nadia's word that this isn't a ruse of some sort, though. There you have it, then. I've got these odd jobbers here lending me a hand with my investigating. We just dropped by to ask the guild if anything out of the ordinary has been going on. There has been an influx of travelers from the Central East lately, and with it, a rising trouble. You see, Tarbad is expected to host almost as many people for launch day as it did during last year's film festival. Other cities are in the same boat. Apparently it's drawing a lot of eager eyes from the Central East. Well, they do call it the birthplace of astronomy, so of course everyone there would be hyped up. And even if they weren't, there'd still be Central Eastern investors falling over to get their business venturing on. Was there anything else of note? Nothing especially major. If I had to pick, it'd be the irregular weather. By now, the region should have already entered its annual rainy season. But this year we've had an uptick in sandstorms, causing all sorts of incidents for us to deal with. Sounds about right. Already figured as much before getting here. Anyhow, we'll probably be back to bother you for any more updates. No bother at all. As far as we're concerned, pooling our resources with the church and Spriggans is worth the while. That's not to say I don't have my concerns about the subject of your investigations, though. Yeesh. Looks like the receptionist's still keeping a few walls between us. It's not going to be easy to swing this one. Well, there is a limit to the amount of leeway Swin and Nadia's presence can afford us. In which case, we ought to follow in their precursors' footsteps. Incidentally, is there any way we might be of service to the Tharbad branch? Arkwright Solutions proprietor undertakes the occasional case from the guild, I'm told. Right, like subcontracting on certain wanted monsters and things like that. Am I gonna play Exterminator again? Just kill me now. There. We got nothing to lose, building better bridges with the guild. In that respect, we are perfectly willing to lend our aid. Would you let us know if anything comes to mind? Well, it's true that we don't have enough manpower to deal with all the wanted monsters and such right now. A little delegation would definitely take a weight off our shoulders. Are you sure it's no trouble? Yeah, what kind of clergyman would pass up a chance to make this town just a little bit safer? If you insist, then alright. I'll pass one of our cases over to you. We'd appreciate if you could handle this as a 4SPG the way your head office does. There are reports that a dangerous monster called the Gilgrifa has appeared in Sandsea. They would greatly appreciate you taking care of this beast in the guild's stead. So long as it ingratiates us with the guild to some degree, I'll consider the effort well spent. Yeah, gotta gain whatever ground this mock sprigging work can get us. How did a traveling priest come to start investigating with some discount spriggans? Whatever the reason, we're facing the same problem I told you about earlier. I don't know what the church is up to, but the Tharbad Guild branch has no information about the temple at this time. Makes sense for the guild to handle things like the increase in tourists and sandstorms. That said, if you're taking on 4SPGs, you could at least help with the wanted monsters. There's nobody up here. Right. There's a 4SPG on the bulletin board. One of the girls working at our bazaar named Sinem has been missing since last night. I would like to once again call upon the aid of the Spriggan and his entourage who aided in her reformation from pickpocket to reliable helper. I'm waiting by the bulletin board, so come speak to me if you're able to take this request. This is the same deal as when we were substitute Spriggans. Check the bulletin boards for notes with the 4SPG symbol. When we first started doing this, I thought, this is a total drag. Way too much of a time sink. Well, as turns out, it's pretty efficient. It certainly is. I only got to see them in action for a little while, but this seems to be the way fixers operate. You and Rufus want to do things in a similar vein to them, right, Kevin? That's the plan. Guessing you got familiar with Arkwright Solutions methods when they were looking after you for a bit. Anyway, looks like we already got a couple 4SPGs. I know we spread word that a Spriggan was in town, but I didn't think it'd travel this fast. Doubtless his previous excursion into the city bore some influence to that end. But I'll admit, the demand has surpassed my expectations. Guess this'll save us the trouble of having to get in good with the locals. Playing Spriggan has its perks, turns out. Right then, everyone ready to get to work? Excuse me, you're the Fazil who put out the request? Yes, that's me. And you don't look like any fixer I've ever seen. Don't worry, I'm an acquaintance of Arkwright's. Well, more or less. Things in the capital are keeping him kind of busy, so I'm here in Tharbad taking up jobs for him. Well, I suppose that makes sense. Perhaps this is fate. I'll get right to the point then. I'd like to ask you all to search for Sinem. Sinem? I think I remember seeing that name in one of Van's files. Yeah, the girl with the sticky fingers. She started working at the bazaar after Van caught her red-handed though, right? That's correct. But my intuition kept telling me she wasn't a bad person at heart, you see. So I hired her, and she's fit right in ever since. Why, it's as if she's always worked with us. Huh. Someone who'd fallen through the cracks of society, saved yet again by the Spriggan. So you're assuming this Sinem girl has disappeared, yes? Is it possible she's just the type of person who likes to come and go as she pleases? Oh, she was when we were first getting to know each other. But recently, she'd actually made it a bit of a point to tell me when she was leaving. And this is the first time she's ever been gone overnight. If you don't mind me asking, you didn't get into a fight with her, did you? Just wondering if maybe she ran away. No, we haven't argued at all lately. Seemed like she was finally getting used to her new life. If she left, I can't think of anything she'd done that would have suggested she was planning to. Hmm. In that case, I suspect either an accident befell her, or she encountered some other form of peril. I thought the same, which is why I'm asking you all to look for her. I need to know she is safe. Please, would you find Sinem for me? Alright, we'll take the case. A member of the church can't exactly ignore a child gone missing after all. Thank you. Arusha herself must have guided you here. So, is there any way you searched already? Yes, the cultural district. I've tried my best to look down every street, every alleyway. I even asked the other shopkeepers if they'd seen anything, but the only thing they could tell me was that she had been in the bazaar until at least yesterday evening. I see. And that means we can stick to talking to people outside the bazaar, right? Indeed. Before we head off, however, did Sinem do anything in particular recently that gave you cause for concern? No, nothing worth mentioning. But now that I think about it, so she did? Well, it's possible I'm just being a worrywart, but lately, it sort of seemed like she'd been up to something. I didn't think much of it because, like I said, she usually let me know before she left the house. And she's and she always came back within the hour. Yeah, I wouldn't think it was a big deal either then. But still, the fact she never told you why is definitely raising some alarms. Alright, Fuzzy, leave it to us. Leave the rest to us. We said we'd bring Sinem back, and that's what we're gonna do. You sound just as reliable as Vantage Group did. Well then, I'll be counting on you. So, Sinem almost certainly disappeared sometime last night. First thing I want to find out, though, is what time she left the cultural district, and which direction she was heading in. But nobody in the bazaar actually saw Sinem leave, right? Maybe we should find someone else to ask. You know, actually, we went to Aramis with someone who happens to be in the area today. She's here visiting home, apparently. Mm-hmm. We just saw her outside the station. And she saved our butts at school more times than I can count. And given that she and her family seem to live in the cultural district, I bet she'll be able to give us just the lead we're looking for. A local who spends most of her time away in the capital. Which means, unlike the others, she'll be looking at the area with fresh eyes. Yeah, might be something she's picked up on that the others haven't. What's more, she apparently came home on the evening train from Edith last night. Heard it arrived pretty late too. Meaning she was probably in the bazaar when all the others had already packed up for the day. Yes, I have heard the shopkeepers head home pretty early around here. So this girl might actually be just the ticket we need. Alright, let's see what she has to say. Oh, Swin, Nadia. Is there something I can do for you? And, who are just a few friends of ours. They're here helping us look into something. Speaking of which, we wanted to ask you a couple of questions. For a job of ours here. Kinda like the ones that came from the suggestion box back at Aramis. I see. I'll try to help as much as I can, though. Can't ignore a request from two of my underclassmen, after all. Thanks for being so understanding. Sinem? Oh, yes, I know her. Ever since she started working at the bazaar, I've run into her nearly every time I've come back to Tharbad. So she's disappeared, has she? It was pretty dark when I was out in the bazaar last night, so I can't say for certain, but I believe I saw someone who looked like her heading in the direction of the entertainment district alone. Really? Yes, it was after the bazaar had closed for the day. I was just on my way home from the hammam, and Fazil said she didn't tell him she was going out so late, too. Wonder if whatever she was heading to the entertainment district for is related to the things she was being all hush-hush about. Well, considering she hasn't returned since, the possibility of her still being in the cultural district is next to zero. For the moment, we should focus on figuring out what she was doing in the entertainment district. Thanks, Arya. You've really helped us out today. Well, I'm glad to hear it. And if Sinem's in trouble, please help her for me. I'd really appreciate it. Don't worry, we've got this. So, she went to the entertainment district last night. What's our next move? Doubt there's any more information to gather about her in the cultural district. Maybe we should find someone who sees a lot of people enter and leave the city? That should help narrow down whether or not she's still in Tharbad, at least. Hmm. Yes, perhaps we should visit the young man who manages the parking lot. I spoke with him a bit after leaving the rental in his care. He seemed awfully attentive to his surroundings. It's possible he may have noticed something related to our conundrum. Right, and even if he didn't see Sinem, he might still have something useful to share. Then it's settled. Let's head over to speak with the parking lot manager. Do, 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 do. Okay, let's scope out the entertainment district. It's looking to be another hustle and bustle day in these parts. Ugh, look at us crawling back to where we should be staying. No, I don't think the inn is so bad. The food there is perfectly delicious. We can stay at the hotel some other time, okay? So, same plan as the cultural district? Just go around and check a few places out? Aside from the Al Jameera Hotel, other points of interest include the high-end casino and the up-and-coming movie studio Vegas Films. The area simply abounds with attractions befitting the City of Pleasure's moniker. We didn't come here to play though, in case you need a reminder. Still, those spots should give us a pretty good read on the situation around town too. Might as well hit up as many of them as we can, alongside the bulletin board of course. One sec. I just remembered something I've got to do real quick. Give me a couple of minutes. Alright. I did what I needed to do. Now we're ready to back to the thing. Oh, that is pretty. It is Rufus's car here. No. Sinem? Oh, you're talking about that girl that drops in from the culture district every now and then. Sorry, no. Didn't see her around last night. Hmm. Probably means she didn't leave the city then, huh? Wait. But you said Sinem drops in from the cultural district every now and then? Why would she need to come to a parking lot for? Well, as a matter of fact, there's a homeless man who lives around here. His name's Nasri. Tries to sleep in our lot sometimes, so I usually have to keep an eye out for him. Apparently, he sort of took Sinem under his wing back when she was still a street urchin. Street urchin. So now that she's off the streets, she wants to return the favor, you know? Gives him food and water and stuff. Maybe that's what she wasn't telling Fazil about. Yeah, helping out a homeless guy sounds exactly like the kind of thing she'd keep under the radar. Oh, what if he knows where Sinem went? Good thinking. Mr. Manager, do you know if this Nazir is still somewhere in Tharbad? Well, actually, nobody's really seen the guy since last night. Kinda weird if you ask me. Usually when he leaves in the evening, he's right back in the same spot come morning. So in short, this man disappeared at the exact same time Sinem did. Yeah, can't say for sure there's any connection yet, but I'm starting to have my suspicions. Guess two people disappearing at the same time is a bit strange, huh? Kinda reminds me of when I was a kid. It's always telling There was always someone telling us to watch out for kidnappers back then. Were kidnappings common in Tharbad? You got that right. You see, the Central East used to have a pretty big problem with human trafficking back in the day. And it just so happened that one of the organizations responsible for that problem expanded all the way into Tharbad about 10 years ago. It kind of fizzled out a couple of years ago, though. Haven't really heard much about them since. Guessing either the guild or the police dealt with them. They'd be talking about. I see. So it was an issue with roots in the Central East. However, I've heard the number of related incidents have diminished rather significantly recently, thanks to in no small part to Elsham and the church. Yeah, of course. I'm just saying I remember when kidnappings were happening on the regular around here, that's all. Doubt it would happen again in this day and age, but it is pretty strange that two people would disappear at the exact same time. Wonder, are those kidnappings really just a thing of the past? Yeah, I've got a bad feeling about this. All the signs seem to be pointing to one answer. I think it'd be best if we got some insight into what's going on in the Central East's underworld right now. Right, something down there could give us a clue on whether or not kidnappings are making a resurgence in Tharbad. Perhaps we should ask someone familiar with not only the current state of affairs in the Central East, but their long-standing issues as well. I believe there's a patriarch staying at the El Jumeirah who's an independent landowner in the region. Do you think he would be suitable? Yeah, let's go see what he has to say. Bam, 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 bam. Ba-dum, bam, 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 bam. That's the Vegas Film Studio. Poor Nadia. So you're asking about societal issues in the Central East, are you? Particularly related to kidnappings. Oh, all right, I'll tell you what I can. That'd be great, thanks. See, there have been a couple of disappearances in Tharbad recently, and we're trying to figure out if they're connected to the organization that was responsible for the kidnappings that happened in the past. Hmm. Perhaps we should start with some context. You see, slavery existed in the Central East as recently as the Middle Ages, a remnant of the Dark Ages. The Scythian temples did prohibit its use, of course, but given its firmly rooted foundations, it proved difficult to eradicate. That said, it's said that during this period, some people even built their fortunes on slavery, as so-called slave traders. However, upon entering the modern era, the Church and the wider Central East took the initiative to abolish the practice outright. Imagine that's when the slave traders went into hiding then, to continue their work from the shadows. That is correct. Though depending on the region, there's still powerful families who have bound themselves to the old customs, especially knowing that there's a demand for cheap labor that they can exploit for their livelihood. And thus, the Central Eastern Mafia, who saw its beginning as a group of slave traders in the Middle Ages, remains. And the ones who tried to expand as far as Tharbad about 10 years ago were them, yes, the Cadas Nocturnium, a well-known organization among us Central Easterners. They operated out of a region out of a region near Vallis, Cadas, hence their name. Vallis's eventual growth incited Cadas's destitution, however, which led the Nocturnium to escalate their criminal activities. For a time, they were even trafficking people in Tharbad, but all the same, they disbanded after losing a conflict with a mafia group in the Republic. Oh, that's probably how that one lady ended up joining Almada. You mean Viola? But after they were defeated, I thought all the survivors fell into the hands of the military. So what kind of methods did the Nocturnium use to kidnap people? Well, from what I've heard, they would often abduct people to use as bait, and seize anyone who came to their aid. Or occasionally, they would even force the person they initially abducted to scout out easy prey. And that's only two of their methods. Trust me when I say they had plenty more. I made sure to learn them all so I could protect my people. Then, seems like that sounds like what might have happened to Sinem and Nasri. I see. I think I got the gist of these Nocturnium guys now. But do you know what happened to their former members after Almada was destroyed last year? Well, I don't exactly know the details, but I heard a good number of them fled home to the Central East. There were attempts to arrest them in Alzheim and Vallis, apparently. but there was no real follow-up on the matter in particular. I see. Wouldn't be surprised if there were a few stragglers somewhere. Thanks, Mr. Patriarch. Gave us a lot of good info. Well, I'm glad to hear it. But the roots of this problem run deep in the Central East. Whatever matter it is you're dealing with here, I'd advise you not to become more involved than necessary. Alright, I think I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. First, Sinem disappeared last night in the entertainment district. And around the same time, a homeless man who had taken up residence in the parking lot went missing as well. The same man Sinem had been providing aid to. The situation sounds like it had a lot of similarities with the conditions the Caduce Nocturnium had for kidnapping people too. Seeing as they disbanded years ago though, it's possible this is all just a coincidence. But it's also possible the Nocturnium still has some stragglers around. Honestly, given everything we know right now, there's about a 50-50 chance that the Nocturnium has something to do with Sinem's disappearance. And if there's even the slightest possibility that either they or their copycats are involved, we'd better not let our guards down. Yeah, if we turn a blind eye now, there'll be even more victims. For the time being, we should move forward under the assumption that Sinem was kidnapped, with the possibility of the Nocturnium being involved. And even if they weren't, at least that'll allow us to eliminate one of the possibilities. I believe our next step should be to search for tangible evidence that a kidnapping took place, likely in the alleyways. These seem to be the most probable locations for such an incident to occur. Yeah, let's see if we can ask someone around the alleys if they know anything. Now we go back outside. Vegas Films. Abad Station. Kidnapping? Well, I'd heard there were a few in the past, but yeah, well, two people went missing late last night. Seems like they were kidnapped, so we're looking into whether or not there's been a resurgence. The culprit wanted to abduct someone, and this alleyway would probably be the best place to do it. That said, we heard you hawk your wares here pretty late into the evening. See anyone suspicious? Look, gasp. Did you maybe take a photo of the very moment the abduction itself took place? Well, now that you mention it, was that? Wait, but thinking about it, sounds as though you do have a suspicion, but no evidence to support it. Well, I don't know if what I saw was a kidnapping or what, but I caught a glimpse of something at a street corner right before midnight when I was on my way home for the day. Saw people loading a sack into a car that was just the right size for a person. That would be consistent with the time of night those two disappeared. Suspicious. What happened after? Well, as soon as they finished loading it, they drove off in the direction of the sand dunes. Before that, I think I heard them say something about a cave, but I couldn't quite make it out. Cave, huh? I feel like I heard about one somewhere in the Sand Sea. Yeah, that's where they found those drugs from Almada. Can't imagine any normal person would have business in a place like that. Plus, these people putting a human-sized sack in a car in the middle of the night. A cave would be the best place to hide or meet up with co-conspirators. There's a distinct possibility they're using it as a temporary base of operations. Yeah, seems worth checking out at least. Alright, to the Sansi. She doesn't get luxury. Kevin and crew picked up the rental car that Rufus had arranged for in advance and headed out to the Sand Sea. Alright, was that new awakening shard function? Something about channeling the user's source of power? Wonder if this would be a good time to give it a test drive. Oh, that's so cool. Really big turning circle. We'll worry about that thing later. And the chests. Was planning on using the bum as bait for reeling us in a whole boatload of merchandise, but who knew we'd hook a big one so fast? She's in good condition too. Bet she'll fetch us a pretty mirror. Who the hell are you guys? Why did you take Nasri? Why are you taking us? Sorry you got dragged into this, little lady. What are you apologizing for? These guys are the ones who... Cheeky one, ain't you? I got a feeling you don't quite understand the position you're in, kid. Knock it off. We want to sell her at a high price. She can't have a scratch on her. But you, Nasri, you are a different story. After all, your job's over now. We don't need a honeypot anymore. So maybe I should just put you in your place, yeah? If I hit you hard enough, you might even lose the will to fight altogether. If that means Sinet might get hurt, then... Why are you doing this? No, why? We're gonna use you guys as a stepping stone to making the kind of money we enjoyed in our prime. Your previous boss lost his head over some woman, see. He ended up tanking all our profits because of her. Then, just when we thought she had dumped the guy for good, we ended up in a clash against Almada of all people. Gah, if it wasn't for that dumb broad picking a fight with them. But after all these years of hardship, our luck's finally changed for the better. After all, now that Almada's no longer in the picture, we can do whatever the hell we want. Thanks for incriminating yourselves. So the culprits really were stragglers from Nocturnium. Who the hell? You're Sinem, right? Basil gave us a request to find you. Basil? Request? What are you talking about? Brevity is a bit difficult when stating our position here. Let's just say we're currently undertaking 4 SPGs in Arkwright Solutions instead. Awkward Solutions? So that's how Fazil. I'm remembering right. They're the ones who gave you a chance to turn over a new leaf, little lady. Awkward Solutions? Those guys who destroyed Almada? Huh, but you're just their stand-ins, right? I'm not scared of you. In fact, this could work for in our favor. They'll capture all of you and sell you off at a premium. Consider it an honor. Sacrifice will go toward bringing the Nocturnium back to its former glory. I refuse to allow you to treat people like objects any longer. And you better believe the church ain't overlooking this either. For the sake of this request, and as a member of the clergy, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure these plans of yours have no future. Yes! I got the 100 chain. How did we... We're saved? Another debt owed to Arkwright Solutions and Fazil. Guy was pretty worried about you, you know. Just make sure you apologize to him when you get back, alright? For this and for the whole sneaking around without telling him where you were going thing too. That is what started this issue after all. And I was just helping out Nasri. Been trying to repay him for what he did for me when I was still just a stray. I mean, if he hadn't taught me how to pickpocket, I would have starved to death years ago. I feel like we should do something to help him too, but yeah, I doubt it'll be as simple as helping Sinem was. No, we won't accomplish anything by just standing here. Let's head back to the city first. Gotta hand these Nocturnium guys over to the authorities after all. Who are you? Heels and tight leather pants. Viola, maybe? I mean, she did survive. Sinem? No, she died. She was killed. That's right. Olympia and Alexander were the two that lived. Sinem? Oh, I'm so glad you're alright. I can't believe you were kidnapped. Sorry for worrying you, Fazil. This only happened because of all the sneaking around I was doing. Goodness, I never would have imagined this would turn into such a ruckus. How can I ever thank you for... How can I ever thank you all for bringing her back safely? Don't worry about it. You asked us to bring her back, and we did. End of story. Probably would have ended up tracking those guys down anyway. But if you're still feeling extra gracious, you won't say no to a little cash reward. In fact, we'd welcome it. Hey. At any rate, I'm glad we've settled everything with Sinem. The only outstanding issue now is him. I heard you helped Sinem back when she was on the streets, but it didn't do all that much for her. Just gave her a simple lesson on how to pickpocket, really. And that was years ago. What are you talking about? That doesn't even begin to cover what you did for me. You gave me food, taught me how to work as a rag picker. I only did those things to fill up all the free time I had. There's no need to go out of your way for me just for stuff like that. But all that said, I'm glad to see you've got somewhere to call home now, Sino. Right? At the end of the day, the man who started this whole thing still doesn't have a place to call his own. Yeah. And with him out on the streets, it's possible he'll get dragged into trouble again. Well, it seems for us to consider this a case well and truly closed. We'll have to figure out what to do with this man. Consider this my request. Nasri can't keep going on like this, and I think even he knows that. If you could help him somehow, like how Arkwright Solutions helped me, little lady. Well, seeing as he was a victim too, it wouldn't make much sense for us to toss him to the wayside now. What should we do? Hmm. Let's give him a job. Honestly, this might be an inconvenience to you, Fazil, but if we want to find a place where Nasri can belong, I think we should do this the proper way. And by that, I mean, would you mind recommending the guy a job? Guess that would be the most surefire way to get him off the streets. Sure, I can do that. Got contacts from all over that I can get in touch with. It's just... Well, he's no spring chicken, if you catch my meaning. And he's got a list of mean misdemeanors too. It'll probably be a while before I find anyone willing to hire him. Can't he work in the bazaar with us? Well, given how long he's been in Tharbad, I imagine people must know his face pretty well by now. And in the world of business, it's important to maintain image at all costs. You understand? Right. I'm in no position to be a choosy beggar here. So I leave my fate to you. Thus, Nasri set off for his future. With Fazil's request now fully resolved, he and Sinem returned to the bazaar. Law went up to 3. Arts damage and speed. Arts damage accuracy, arts damage AP, accuracy, and crit. Seriously, thanks. If you guys hadn't saved me, then I'd be... Well, regardless, this bazaar is where I belong, so it's good to be back. And, thanks for being so concerned. Thanks for being concerned about the old guy, too. Thank you so much. I never imagined she'd be kidnapped. Don't know what would have happened if it weren't for you. Really, I can't thank you enough. She's like family to me now. I'm just so relieved we got her back before the worst came to pass. Sinem came back, huh? Glad to hear it. She used to be a little thief, always tormenting the bazaar. Now it feels lonely when she's not around to help. Makes me feel restless anyway. Wait, gotta check something real quick. No. Yeah, we've got more ads starting in just a moment. Maintain the groom portal. The city manages the free parking lot, but we also deal in rental cars. So if you need anything, don't hesitate to let me know. It's like the whole Republic is partying with all this space program buzz going on. As someone who loves parties, I can't hold it in anymore. I can't hold it in any longer. Let's get it started in here. Come on, people, eat up. Everyone got a new recipe? That is a nice looking car. I've finally done it. I even got a new job just so I could move to this city. All to see that beautiful dancer up close again. But I still haven't. Turns out she's made it to the big time, debuting in the capital and in movies and stuff. I'll never forget watching her enchanting performance that fateful night in the club. Oh, tourists. I've got a real nice selection of quality products for cheap. How are you gonna say no to that? Oh, this is a brand name counterfeit, huh? Like it looks just like the real thing, except the logo is a bit different on closer inspection. You two got sharp eyes. You're right, of course. That's why they're so cheap. It's a real bargain considering nobody will be able to tell at a glance. I totally don't get it, but it feels wrong. Hey now, there is a demand for this kind of thing, I'll have you know. This is the first I've heard of such a thing. Mind if I take a closer look for my own edification? Buy the Machette coin purse. I don't know if I should call you sharp or merciless. Look, I'm not trying to deceive you. I just told you they're counterfeits and that I sell them. If you like something, buy it. And you're welcome to you're welcome to some window shopping too. Club Lelouch would be closed. Hey, buddy. Want me to show you a secret little spot? It's a wonderful place where beautiful Central Eastern women will welcome you to our great city. I guess Tharbad was called the City of Pleasure, huh? That's right. And some places don't make you wait until night to have fun. If you'd like, I could introduce. Never mind, you got kids with you. Maybe I'll see you again when the sun goes down. Works for me. What was he talking about? I don't know, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with you or me. And that's exactly right. Guess having ladies in the group does make it hard to operate in certain ways. Labad's always been the kind of place where you can let your hair down. We have a number of fine establishments. Why, that nightclub right over there became popular for having certain dancers. Drop by again if you feel the urge, my friend. Welcome. Please enjoy the peerless excitement at our casino. We've just introduced a token system to Moulin Casino. Please let me know when you'd like to play, and I'll handle the conversion for you. The token system seems pretty standard. Something feels off. Something might be going on. My territory has flourished with the latest boom over the last year and a half. The last half year. On top of that, Valis has been trading us its mineral resources, making for easy profit. Too many people already seem to know, but Valis is a major shareholder in Marduk. Marduk probably needed a bunch of raw materials for that space thingamajig. But what does it matter? I can afford to live it up every day. Why not spice things up with a million mirror bet? It's Jack. Are you serious? A royal freaking flush? You cheated, huh? You must have. How else could you have beaten me? I, in hell. And we'll be happy to hear you out, sir. In the back. Wait, no. You got every last coin of my mirror back. Oh, I can't possibly thank you enough. Man, your gift for the game never gets any duller. No wonder it made for bestseller material. Jack Trevor. Hal Coleman. Bestseller material. I see. You refer to Gambler Jack. Yeah, it's been too long, Trevor. Hal. Gotta do a little catching up. Bum, 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 bum. So you know them, huh? Took the words right out of my mouth. Didn't realize you guys had already met. We never got too mixed up with him on our last misadventure, but Van introduced us, yeah. Just to set the record straight, the no good priest here has been using our informant services for a good while now. A lot of us have had our share of joint efforts with Van too. Can't believe Kevin's rolling with you guys though. And that's not even counting sunglasses over here. A pleasure. Dingo Brad spoke of you quite a bit. I've given your written exploits a read as well. Truly, it is an honor to meet the subject matter themselves. Real flattering. As for the other way around, you just waved off the rumors that you weren't actually dead. And yet here's the household name himself in the flesh. Don't suppose we should be calling you John Doe now? Please, call me whatever you wish. Excuse me, but what you were doing earlier was gambling, right? Did you make a lot of money? It looked as though you won it big. You did, but that game was on behalf of a client. She got scammed by some shady con artist, so we took on a request to clear her debts, and gave the culprit a taste of his own medicine to boot. So you cheated too? Even though you called him out for it? It's only cheating if you get caught, kid. Oh, teach me your ways, O saint of opportunists. I tire of vacationing in squalor. The time is nigh that we multiply our assets 100-fold. Let's not add scamming to our rap sheet, alright? Not exactly the most covert crowd here, huh? Must be some especially thorny circumstances if you're thrown in with them. It's not like it's ever any other way when I get roped into the mix. You two are here for more than just a game of proxy poker, though, aren't you? That'd be a damn good reason why you'd schlep your way out to Tharbad now, of all times. Us running into each other wasn't just a coincidence, then, was it? You want info and you want me to provide it. Heads. Tails. Tails. Well, that's it then. I'll take on one request and we'll go from there. Jack, you're not even gonna ask me about it first? Eh, this could be just the stroke of fate we need. Going along with them might gain us some insights of our own. Unbelievable. That exchange just now. Felt like the conversation was over before I could even pass it. Watching you old farts try to outcool each other isn't exactly my idea of a good time, you know. Ditto to that. That flip was probably rigged to go like this anyway. Well, excuse us for trying to stage a good scene. Ease up on the insults, please. Wouldn't want us grown men bursting our waterworks. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. What is it you want us to look into? I want to know what the word on the street was in the Tharbad of 20 years ago. Whispers on the wind you wouldn't find in any official documents. Sounds like a bunch of supernatural hocus pocus, even better. Oh, brother, always with the insane asks. Fine, I'll reach out if we find anything. Just so you know, our billables are gonna be sky high on this one, you got that? Sure do. We'll leave you to it. He seemed awfully quick to give in. And what was that made the difference? Yeah, especially with such a bonkers request. I mean, where do you even start for gossip 2 decades old? Oh, there's plenty of angles to tackle it from. Bill as sharp as you should already know that. Plus, this ain't their first rodeo. Trust me when I say they'll figure it out. Anyway, that's a wrap here, I think. Ready to move on? But the slots and card games look so much fun. I'm afraid you'll have to wait until you're a proper adult to enjoy them, as with the alcohol. Uh, let's just go. Connection events are now available on Kevin's route. Who we got? Three nine. Rufus and Lapis. We were already over there. Let's play one game of poker. Ooh. 5, 7, 8. Need a 6 and a 9. Got a pair. Ooh. Hold those two. Try again. Another pair. It was so close to a flush. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just need a 9. Hmm. I'll take that pair. Alright, what do we got? Not good. Not a good hand. Got a straight. Uh, I am happy with that. Got a pair. That's good. No. Oh, fuck. Full house. Hmm. I didn't get anything. Hold on to that. So I've got a chance for a flush. A chance for a flush or a straight. Or actually, I'll keep the pair because it's a guaranteed. 3 of a kind. Full house again. Um, change it all. No. Let's do it again. Let's keep going. Full house. Um, let's fold and redistribute. Hmm. Another full house. And my last one. Oh. I just need a 10 and an ace. Hmm. Dang it. I'm not giving up until I win. Try again. Just sit with that. Dang it. Hmm. Change them all. Thank God I flush out of that. Hmm. Raise. Two pair. Try again. Dang it. And this 2 pair. No good hand. Change to dang it. Not giving up. Let's keep going. 5, 6, 7. I'll happily take this. Change. Try again. Let's go again. Change again. Last one. Come on. Aren't failing me yet. I have a chance for a flush, but not a straight. Change. Terrible hand. Come on, really? That was. Let's get going. Oh, hell yeah. I've got a straight right there. No matter how I pick it, it's going to succeed. Two pair, baby. Oh, bullshit. Come on. I will get this. Um, do I want the chance at a straight? Nah, the risk is too high. Maybe I'll try and risk a flush. Nope. That went poorly. Let's keep going. No, it's nothing there. Alright, we've got a good chance here. Add a two pair. Got it. And this will be my second last. Alright, change it. Please, please. Yes! Got it. It's true that we had a spot of trouble, but don't pay it any mind. More importantly, why not play a game? You seem like an experienced gambler. Tharbad is a city of gambling, so why not try your luck? Do it, boss. This is your chance to get rich quick. Don't encourage him. Gambling should only be done in moderation. So you say, but you haven't exactly been very moderate yourself. That was fun to watch. The blonde gambler did a great job. His later friend seemed to be beating him, but he does have considerable skill, especially when it comes to cheating. Moulin Sobe and Thabad Mojito. All the groups playing cards have been pretty lively. If you need a break, just let me know. From rare Central Eastern fruits to Eastern liquors, we carry only the highest quality products. Want to have a taste now that you're here? Meeting here must be fate. I'm still progressing on that matter you asked me to investigate. I don't know if the info I find will meet your expectations, so try not to get your hopes up. I just finished the round for someone else. Now it feels like there's too much work to do. Not to mention my relationship with Kevin, or the fact that I might start working as an informant again. Let's play blackjack. It's so easy to learn, but it's so thrilling. I'd be happy to explain the rules. I promise I'll be a patient teacher. You already know the rules, so I don't think we need you. That's right. Yes, you're not allowed to go near her. you, you children are quite amusing. Sorry for the ruckus. Alright, let's play some poker. No, not poker, blackjack. Oh. That's dumb. Really? How is my luck this bad? I'm just getting tens. So dumb. Okay, that's one. I'm gonna stay put. Yeah, we ain't going any better. Dang it. Eh. Here on the second floor, you can enjoy slot machines and card games. And just so you know, last month someone won a jackpot of more than 10 million Mira. Don't miss out on this opportunity to become an instantaneous millionaire. She sure knows how to get a gambler going. If only we had the money. Nadia, you really love money, don't you? I have to. I want that reward. Stand here. Let's go. Yeah, I was not going to win that. Okay. So there are 15, 20, more, less than half the deck is a risk. Really? So stupid. That's reasonable. I have had nothing but bad luck this entire time. Hmm, we'll keep it there. Try again. We're gonna keep it there. Stand. Alright, last one. Please don't fail. Got it. There's been an absolute torrent of tourists coming in from the Central East. They've been keeping the Farbad police busy, but thanks to our experience at last year's film festival, I think we've been able to handle things pretty smoothly. Although we do have some troublesome people in our ranks. I should go and make sure Officer Kelvin hasn't skipped out on his duties again. Eh, I'll go talk to everybody else over this side first. It's a rocket launch, Hardy. You know, the event of the century. Why won't my father let me go see it with my own eyes? I don't understand. With all due respect, young master, the launch is in Longley, at the eastern edge of the Republic. It's simply too far to travel by car. Thus, he would like you to watch the broadcast instead. Is that why he bought me the latest T-phone or whatever? How very like him. I'll step in line for now, but don't think I'm giving up. I want to take my wheels and travel the world. The young master grows only more dissatisfied by the year. Is this really a good thing, master? I'll take that T-phone or whatever for now, but I expect you to teach me how to use it, Hardy. Very well. This will be the first time I've held one myself, but I'm sure if I read the manual I could be of assistance. My father is always like this. He built his fortune on trade, and when it comes to what Mira can buy, we want for nothing. However, he won't permit me to travel to other cities. It's absurd. I'm so bored. Negotiations with this store have been settled. Seems like things are going smoothly for my new product. Authentic Central Eastern fabric will be perfect for this new outerwear. And it's all thanks to your hard work. I'm truly grateful. Oh no, it's thanks to your extraordinary designs, Hashim. I only helped a little. I don't need to be modest to realize you have incredible taste and plenty of passion. I know. Why don't I treat you to a drink to celebrate this achievement when we get to the capital? I'd love to have one here in Tharbad, but it's almost time to catch the airship. My apologies. Please, there's nothing to apologize for. Your gratitude alone is enough. I never thought I'd get this much recognition. I'm so glad I got this job. I'll have to thank Manager Mora for introducing us. You're sure good at getting people excited, Hashim, since you're such a skilled designer. Still, I never imagined I'd one day work for such a famous brand when I was living in the share house. Oh, I miss those days. Feels like I'm finally catching up to my destiny. I need to work hard so that I can hold my head up high when I see Raymond or Jess again. I'm a fashion designer, which means I'm very particular about materials and marketing. That's why I often visit places like this for business meetings. Carol has been such a huge help in that. Carol has been a huge help in that regard. She really is a brilliant, honest, and giving person. Azrak Theatre just opened the other day, and we're lucky enough to be extremely popular already. Because the owner, Shadin, spared no expense in acquiring the latest screening equipment from Basel, you'll be able to enjoy a first-rate cinema experience. If you're interested, please head to the left. Although Vegas Films is based here in Thabad, we've never had a big movie theatre. Popularity of last year's film festival gave our owner the push he needed to open this cinema. There was a lot going on back then, but our owner is the kind of person who can turn anything into a positive. Welcome to the Azarek Theatre. Thabad's hot new establishment is now open. We're currently showing two Eastern-style films. Wolves Requiem, winner of the Lion d'Or at the first Thabad Film Festival, and Shinobi Punk Izayoi, which came out just this week. If you'd like to watch either one, just buy your tickets and head straight up the elevator behind you. Alright, what do we want to watch? What do we got to choose from? Let's watch Shinobi Punk. The five of them made their way into the theater, having decided to watch a movie. In a remote part of the Far East lay a modern city that had developed in its own unique way. Onigawara Lot. In this city controlled by wicked megacorps, there are those who work in darkness to complete any job, so long as the mirror is right. They are known as Ninja. One night, the largest company in the city sent a request to a master ninja named Izuyoi, rumored to be among the strongest in the city. They wanted him to assassinate Kanata, the leader of a resistance group whose goal was to free the city from its corporate overlords. Izuyo quickly located the resistance hideout and quietly proceeded with his mission. However, Kanata's awe-inspiring will to achieve her goals managed to pierce and melt Izuyo's heart, long frozen over from his dark past. Having been forced to live his life on a blood-soaked path, the hope Kanata had showed him was more than enough reason for him to betray his employers. I love this game. Well, that was certainly unique. Still, the plot was interesting enough, at least. And despite its peculiar blend of themes, the story was a textbook example of poetic justice, as well as a celebration of human resilience. This exquisitely balanced selection of elements made it a compelling tale that failed to bore me for even a moment. I'd say it was worth the price of admission for the action scenes alone. That said, I don't know if I fully understood the position Ninja had in the underworld. Yeah, in some scenes they were like your everyday assassins, while in others they had a whole different vibe to them. But I like the concealed weapons they used. In fact, I might take a page or two from their book. How about you, LP? What did you think of the movie? Hmm? I really like the part where Izuyo met Kanata. Oh yeah? Is the whole human drama aspect what grabbed you then? Well, it is a story about Izuyo becoming human after all. A ninja who stuck to the darkness with machine-like dedication up until the point when he finally came to understand his own heart. He found his humanity, and while he stays true to the path of the ninja, he begins walking it alongside Kanata. It's a fascinating story. I'm hardly surprised you found yourself identifying with the character learning how to be a human. Sure, you did go pretty in depth with showing off that aspect of the story. Hearing all that, it's no wonder it drew you in as much as it did Lapis. Oh hey, there's something commemorative brochures for this movie. Made by Shinobi Punk. Having finished their break, Kevin and the others resumed their work. One of these. Daily Tharbad. Beastie Seal. Ezrak Bonbons. Desert Goggles. Tharbad is a city of riches and opportunity, and Ezrak is continuing to develop day by day. We just opened a theater and are proactively introducing new and fresh ideas. Of course, there have been some duds, but being in business means taking risks. I watched a gambling house back in my merchant days. Since then, Barbad has continued to develop and build great commercial infrastructure. Not all of my ideas take off, but being in a business means taking risks. One of these. Here we upgrade all the weapons. We offer souvenirs and the traditional arms of the Central East. Central Eastern arms are often bought and sold as works of art due to their elegant designs. Their traditional garb is quite popular in the West too. Anything to buy here? No. Definitely won't be able to upgrade any of those. T-Frames have slowly been getting more popular in Tharbad, so that's been keeping us busy. They're convenient and all, but the orbital waves only reach as far as the outskirts and main roads. People out in the desert could use them. I bet they'd really take off. If the space program can help with that, then I've got big expectations. There's a 4SPG on the bulletin board. In the past, Tharbad had this mouth-wateringly delicious sweet treat, but it disappeared a long time ago. I'd really like to see it come back somehow. Would you be willing to help? I'll be waiting at the ice cream stand in front of the station. Looks like we already got a request on this district's bulletin board too. Ben's been active in this city before, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised people bought into the rumors so quick. If that's the case, I guess it wouldn't hurt to check the boards more often. Is there any that I haven't made yet? That one. So hot. I might actually die, you know. It was tough when I was first assigned to Tharbad, too, but the summer's been worse than I could imagine. Being in uniform is unbearable. If only there was somewhere I could grab a drink. My colleague Vernia would throw a fit if I had one, but maybe I can do it on the sly. Vernia, this woman I work with, is really annoying. She even chewed me out after the film festival. I mean, come on. I should at least have the right to enjoy myself whenever I want. That's why I applied to take a paid holiday for the upcoming rocket launch. I'm ready to let loose. I'm here for a business meeting with the Central Eastern Company. This is Tharbad in July, huh? The air is shimmering. Not bad with the heat, but I guess I'll have to endure it. I'm already feeling dizzy. Maybe I should take a taxi to the hotel. With this, I think we've more or less completed all of the requests we received this morning. By managing my time wisely, I can probably handle things by myself. Ah, you two were formerly with the Gardens. Didn't we meet in the capital in spring? I didn't expect to see you here in Tharbad. Ismail. He and Lahad were in charge of a case related to the Gardens, right? That's what Elaine said. Guess he's a member of the Tharbad branch then. You were working with the Spriggan into the spring, but now it seems like you're with a different group altogether. You're a distinctive bunch, I'll give you that. And is that a traveling priest of the Septian Church? We've been working for some time now. Guess you could say we just felt like helping out again? And Connection invited us, so we simply decided to go along with this oniony priest. Sounds like you've got a lot going on, but it's probably fine, as long as you're helping the church. Depending on the circumstances, we might be able to assist. Don't be afraid to turn to the guild for help. So, he's a veteran bracer who studied Central Eastern swordsmanship. Seems pretty sharp, regardless of whether or not he's associated with these two. Better not give him a reason to start breathing down our necks. I'm the only bracer above C rank in Tharbad right now. There used to be a guy called Renton, but he was called in to help another city. That's within expectations. We're always doing what we can to operate efficiently. We've been doing just fine with me handling most of the work. Hopefully that gives Renton some peace of mind. Welcome to Vegas Films. If you have business with us, please make an appointment. After Gaspard, our previous president, was murdered last year by the Mafia, we've tried to make a fresh start with a new president and stricter enforcement of in-house security. Still, even though we're back in business, we can't let our guard down. We've got an event scheduled tomorrow. I never thought they'd make us help out too. It'll be last year's film festival all over again. At least our orders aren't as crazy as when director Gotti was in charge. Whatever. I just wish the person in the lead would handle it seriously. Just talking to the NPCs. Our independent film proposal has been rejected again? What could they have possibly not liked about it? Could have made great use of my film festival parade experience to shoot a gloriously cheesy musical. Wait, was it because it was just the two of us? I mean, we both played multiple roles and did several composite shots. Maybe that's why our impeccable musical style wasn't conveyed properly. But what should we do now? Only we had just one more person. Someone who was good at acting. It's called Project Startaker. Let's catch the stars together. We also sell Major Amelia merchandise. Hey, you enjoying the summer in Tharbad? Bright sun, shimmering hot air. Why, summer's the season of love and passion. I don't know what this whole space thing's about, but let's get pumped up together. Wait, my spot got taken away and nobody even wants to hear me sing anymore. I hate this space crap. Bum, 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 bum. Welcome. You'll find our hotel security is flawless. We even restructured after the film festival incident. We've been retraining our personnel from Square. Excuse me. It's my pectoralis major muscle again. At any rate, please be at ease. Pectoralis major muscle? I'm not even going to start. Too much of a bother. Let's start with out here. Ugh, look at them whooping it up. I want to go take a dip too. You're just gonna have to manage, Nadia. We're flat broke, remember? Oh, what if we go swimming in the oasis instead? That way we'd have more room to play too. This is about more than just swimming, LP. It's about the poolside drinks, the towels, the 6-star luxury. Set the bar that high in your growing years, and you'll be in for a lifetime of disappointment, kiddo. I don't remember asking for your 2 mirror, bold boy. What? Did you guys only ever travel on a bed of gold-leafed roses? Nothing so extravagant. The fault may lie with me for giving her a false sense of expectation beforehand. Not like you swore anything was set in stone. Just let her sulk and she'll get over it eventually. It's him. Oh, God. Yeah, finally. Were you a guest at this hotel, mister? A suite? Oh, why can't it be me? Yeah, guess so. Hmm? Why are they? Uh, Take that. Hey, quit it. So freaking jealous. I need to be like that when I'm old. Keep spiking your blood pressure like that, and you might not even make it there. Rufus? Kevin? Something the matter? Not at all. Let's be on our way, shall we? Yeah, guess we'll have to let it go for now. Yeah. Vegas Films invited me for something related to a film I appeared in before. I couldn't stay in this hotel since I'm just a second-rate actress, but apparently I can put down the pool as a business expense. I feel restored, though I do feel a little nervous. I'm surrounded by nothing but rich people. And I hope I can finally reach the big time. I haven't gotten any auditions lately. Hopefully I'll find something in Tharbad that'll lead to the next step in my career. Who would have thought there'd be a paradise like this right smack in the middle of the desert? Maybe I should take the opportunity to say hi to the young ladies. Can't believe I'd find him in a place like this. Al Jameera Hotel is a six-star hotel, the highest grade on the continent. We host a variety of events. Like tomorrow, we have a film-related affair. And the day after that, we've scheduled a ceremony to watch the space program's finale. You're all cordially invited to join us if you so desire. Welcome. Are you looking to book a room for the night? Our rooms are limited at this time of year due to the crowd, but oh, even if you did have rooms, we wouldn't be able to stay here anyway. But we can still eat at the restaurant, right? Yes, of course. I can show you the way if you'd like. No, I mean, we literally just ate. Let's just take a look around. Poor lady looks like she's losing her patience. Seems like there's more to these guests than you'd think. Even those who aren't staying with us are welcome to visit the restaurant and pool. We also offer a variety of other services, so please feel free to ask if you're interested. It's been really hot lately, so I'm concerned about the water level of the Hale Oasis. But it seems like the water quantity hasn't changed from average. Relief for the water company too, no doubt. I'm just here to provide technical support. I'm actually from the Verne Company. I have to say, I'm surprised how much water is in the oasis. Oh, it's these two. Their fathers are always feuding. Maybe that's why they're always on the same wavelength. Maybe it's thanks to your influence month. No way. It's because you helped me, Kalia. You've been laying the groundwork within the Principality. Besides, when you think about it, we've got to help our dads out. You're right. Both of our families will benefit if the trade route is developed. Exactly. And I mean, it's important so that we can join forces in the future. And I still can't tell her after all. I really thought I was going to say it. Mont and I talk all the time now that we both have T-phones. I'm glad our strategy of helping our feuding fathers get along has been going well for all our sakes. Sometimes I do have to wonder what Munt keeps trying to hint at. Makes me curious. Those neighbors, my family and Kalia's family, the Dahas, have gotten along for a long time. I knew that a shadow would be cast in our future together, so I've worked out a plan. But how do I put it? Kalia is, well, a straightforward and virtuous person. They're definitely positive traits, but they're making it hard for me to get through to her. We offer the best-in-class fine dining experience. You joined us yesterday, didn't you? How did you find the flavors of our multi-course meal? It was delicious, but all that build-up was cruel. Come on, don't take it out on the hotel staff. Feels like we've gone full circle from positive reception to negative. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I can help you if you'd like to order something. I attend the bar by night too. If you're ever in the mood for the finest quality cocktails, feel free to stop by for a drink. Never imagined we'd work together to develop the Elseim-Velis trade route. That's my line, Daha. No matter how influential or noble you may be in Elseim, it's my territory and mine's on the line. So I won't let you just do as you please. I'll make sure the date we agreed on. Yes, yes, of course. I'll have you know the Grand Prince himself put in a good word for us. There's no need to delay the schedule with false accusations. Damn you, Bashar. You're only the perfect intermediary because of your close ties with Valis. It's no surprise you're skilled, Daha. You were my competition once after all. That doesn't mean I can stomach your company. Patriarch Bashar made a pact with Elseim even while holding sway over Valis. I would never admit it, but he might just be the perfect intermediary for this project. He did come with His Highness's recommendation, so I suppose I can work with him for now. At any rate, where did Kalia go? She always seems to disappear when I meet with Bashar. I know the business side of things bores her, but I should warn her against wandering too far. Dahar and I have competed together against countless times, so I know he's an obstinate man. But that's also why I know I can put my trust in him. I'll cooperate. We could lose money if the schedule is pushed back, and it'd hamper our relationship with Valis. I need this guy to work hard for my investment and my business. Alright, we'll do the side quest, and then head into the Sandsea. Welcome. Care for some pistachio ice cream? I made it the way Westerners do, with milk. Barbari camel's milk specifically. Ooh, consider my interest thoroughly piqued. I'd say it passes visual inspection too. Alright, we'll take the whole... Hold it right there, kiddos. You guys eat any more and you're gonna end up losing your breakfast. And your second breakfast. Besides, isn't this the lady who posted that 4SPG on the bulletin board? Wait a second. Are you saying you're the Fixers reporting for duty? We're here to help. We're taking up 4SPGs on behalf of Arkwright Solutions. That being said, though, it doesn't really feel like this request would require a Spriggan. What are you talking about? Unless the body's specialty. I mean, if that doesn't sound like a complicated matter, I don't know what does. I'm kind of curious about this dessert she mentioned too. Why don't we at least hear her out? Never met two people so devoted to their stomachs. Well, I suppose it would prove useful to widen our net here, given that we are meant to be gathering information. Sorry, didn't mean to cause you all any trouble or anything. It's just, the mystery's been nagging at me for a while, so I finally decided to give in and put up a request. Alright, for now, why don't you just give us the rundown? Of course. Let's see, about 15 years ago, there was a stall in Tharbad that sold the most delicious dessert. It had this perfectly flaky dough that was filled with this delicious red bean paste, and they served it with ice cream too. I only had it once, but to this day I still can't get the taste out of my head. Ooh. But because I was so little when I ate it, all my memories about the details are pretty hazy. I think it was an old lady who manned the store, but at some point she just stopped setting up shop in the area. But I'd like to see the desert make a comeback in Tharbad. It'd be a shame to let it be lost to history, you know? So, can you help me? Yeah, why not? Doesn't really sound like we've got much to go off of here, but what the heck? We've got two rugrats up for the job, and who am I to tell them no? We'll have that dessert back in no time, but on one condition. Condition? Oh, what's that, LP? If you do manage to recreate this dessert, as a reward, we want 10. No, 100. You trying to put the woman out of business? Doubt I'll be able to make 100 of them, but I would like to sell them at my stand. If we can figure out how to make them, that is. But, seeing as I'll probably need to make a test batch before I take any money for them, why don't we share a few then? You've got yourself a deal. Indeed. Now, as for possible leads, right, I've tried asking my parents, friends, distant acquaintances. Nobody has a single clue on where to start looking. Kinda sounds like old Granny Goodies was a cryptid or something. But if this dessert really was as delicious as you say it was, there's got to be someone else who remembers it, right? Right, you've told us so far. It sounds like it was a pretty high-end treat. So how about we try tackling it from that angle? High-end treat, huh? Well, if there's one place that knows high-end, it would be the hotel we were too poor to stay at. Hey, Serafina. How are we doing today? Shall we make our way over now, then? Good luck, and remember, I'm counting on you. I've got Kevin. Welcome. You can always count on ice cream to beat the summer heat. The number of tourists has increased thanks to the space boom. Normally, this is when I'd sell the most. Something's missing. I need a featured product unique to Tharbad. I wish I could reproduce those sweets. Yay. Yay. And Junkar fires exactly as I expected him to be. A dessert that existed about 15 years ago. Well, you know something? You do, don't you? Stick to using that mouth for chewing and chewing only, alright? Sorry, but I am actually familiar with what you're referring to. It was a favorite of the locals back in the day. That being said, though, seeing as I only came to Tharbad around 5 years ago, uh, sounds like you're still pretty familiar with the dessert regardless. Think you could give us an idea of what we should be looking for? According to the people who've tried it, its most distinctive feature seems to be the texture given to it by crisp, thin strings of dough. I imagine it must be similar to a dessert that originated in Elsheim, Knafe. Knafe. However, I've never heard of Knafe being served in a rolled shape. It makes me wonder if that was someone's unique take on the dish. The recipe this old woman of ours may have modified then, and seeing as it would have been based on a Central Eastern dessert, it makes sense that the locals would be so fond of it. Yeah, but if it looked different, no wonder I had our client confused. But a hunch about it being a high-end Central Eastern dessert was correct then, right? I'd like to try asking someone who's actually tasted it, but yeah, alright. Let's go see if we can find anyone who's eaten this thing. Ah, Tharbad. So pretty. How are we doing, everybody? How's your days all going? A fabled luxury dessert, you say? And you're asking if I've eaten it? What a silly question. Listen, well, common folk. There is only one thing that would fit the bill. Oh, have we finally hit the jackpot? What did it taste like? Come on, tell us. If there is a dish in this world that has been referred to as high-end, I assure you that I've almost certainly eaten it. The young master has a weakness for sweets, you see, particularly desserts. I didn't need to know that, Hardy. Anyway, I was 7 when I first tasted it, and I'll remember the experience until the day I die. Pistachios and raw cocoa mixed with red bean paste, and wrapped up in rolls of flaky dough. Man, the subtle citrusy notes in the ice cream that came with it. Secret ingredient, Schmidt. Secret ingredient. It was dried lemon, no doubt. Raw. Damn, really does sound good. Would you happen to remember who was selling it? Selling it? I think there must have been some sort of misunderstanding here. Huh? What does that mean? The dessert the young master was speaking of is one that was served at a temple in the cultural district on a national holiday. When he visited to pray, he simply happened to come across someone handing it out to the public. He was determined to have some, no matter the cost. Now, could you blame me? It wasn't just tasty, it was pretty too. It's a shame they haven't served it since. Ah, but that reminds me. I believe it was being sold at a street stall for some time as well. Are you serious? And you didn't tell me? I'll buy the whole business, stole and all. Unfortunately, young master, they seem to have gone out of business years ago. Why? He actually looks pretty hurt about the whole thing. Feel kind of bad for the guy. Well, in any case, it seems we've found our next lead, no? Right, to the temple. Yay. Oh, bottom, bottom, boom. Who's a temple? Yay. I love trails. The dessert we served at the temple? Oh, yes, the Central East's temples do have a custom of serving sweets on national holidays. We offer a new variety every year, but I believe the one you're looking for in particular is Kamak Knafe. Kamak Knafe. We found it at last, LP. Finally, so it's super delicious, right? It is indeed. We last served it at our temple about 15 years ago, but apparently someone opened up a food stall for it right after. They saw how popular it was, I suppose, and felt the need to meet demand. Well, that lines up with everything we've heard so far. Would you happen to be familiar with the person capable of making this dessert? Well, I've only met her, really, and that was 15 years ago. Her name was Rafia. Father Mukhtar, you two were acquainted? Indeed, we were friends, in fact. She was a relative of the Hilal Tavern and Inn's owner, and though she didn't live in Tharbat, she often visited our temple to pray. She tended to come on holidays in particular, so she could offer her sweets to the people of the city. I see. Her age necessitated she retire from her culinary pursuits, however, and for some reason, she decided to leave her gnafe recipe to me, but you see, there seems to be a secret technique to rolling the dough that, despite my best efforts, I have been wholly unable to reproduce. If you're interested, I wouldn't mind showing you all the recipe card. You'll likely be able to do more with it than I ever could. Yes, please. After the vicar brought out the recipe, Kevin quickly copied it down. Man, 15 years ago, huh? Imagine Farbad's changed a heck of a lot since then. But that was around the same time the city was experiencing some serious growth too. Correct. It was when the entertainment district was established. which, given its nature, created friction with the cultural district. Actually, it was the very tension Raffia was hoping to relieve with her knafe. Knafe. Maybe eating some could help us too. Complicated matters related to the fabled dessert here. It would seem Nadia was correct in her assumption after all. Wait, what are we talking about? Come on, guys. Time to head on over to our final destination, Hilal Tavern and Inn. Only then will this dessert's true form be revealed. Yeah, we're coming. There you are, Rufus. Yes. Did you say Knafe? Well, of course I know what that is. After all, Rafi is my auntie. Your auntie? Well, I guess we did hear she was a relative of yours. See, you trace our family line back to the times of the nomadic desert tribes. We settled here in Farbad when it was still a small oasis town, but Auntie Rafia chose to remain a nomad. That being said, though, she made plenty sure to visit us whenever she was in the area. After all, she was still family, you know? Every time she came to town, she'd make her nafe, and I'd be right there giving her a helping hand. Shame she passed away 15 years ago. That's why it was lost to history. So, she's gone? But if you helped her make it in the past... That's right, got all the tricks to it down pat. Never learned the whole recipe, admittedly. But you said you picked it up at the temple, right? In that case, I should be able to recreate it. Maybe even to a T. Really? Woohoo! We'll finally be able to eat the long-lost dessert of legend. Such enthusiasm. My auntie would have loved to hear it. Did you want to help make it as well? Well, seeing as our client did promise we could sample her test batch, the least we could do is help with some of the prep. Honestly, this whole mystery process thing has got me kinda curious anyway. Yay. After summoning Felicia to Halal Tavern and Inn, Hala taught her the special knafe red kneading trick. Then, upon mastering the basics, she began her attempt at making the fabled dessert, Kama Knafe. And finished. Ah, so pretty. Actually looks good. I've only ever had one dessert that had pistachios in it. And that aroma. I can't get enough. Is this real? Am I actually getting the chance to eat the dessert of my dreams once more? You crying before you've even taken the first bite? That's a bit much, don't you think? We've practically taken over the whole tavern. Won't this be an issue for Halar's business? Well, given that she went to all the trouble of helping us, we should partake as well. So her efforts don't go to waste, of course. Nom. Oh, these flavors are out of this world. I heard it was good, obviously, but the flavor, the aroma, the texture, they really are in perfect harmony. I don't even know what to say. It's just amazing. Indeed. I can tell great care went into its creation. It's best suited to the summer, I imagine. The heat adds an interesting component to the experience. Fascinating. This truly is a Thabadi specialty. We need to buy this recipe. Definitely worth all the... Oh, more please. Well, you've already had 5. That should be plenty, young lady. The taste is so nostalgic I almost fainted, but... feels like these girls are enjoying it more than I am. Thus, Kamak Nafe, the once lost Thabadi specialty, was successfully brought back to the city. After receiving permission from proprietress Hala, Filica even added it as a special menu item at her store. However, when Nadia decided to so thoughtfully send Van a report on the incident, He replied with a long bitter message for that propriety's stake will be summed up with his prior sentiment. Wish that I could have had some too. Oh, that's great. That's brilliant. Bringing back Rafia's Nafe has been such a joy. Did you know that Kama means moon? In the Central East, it's used to describe something elegant and mystical. It's the perfect name for an extra special dessert. If you like it, I hope you'll tell all your friends about it. Bum, 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 bum. And then we go back to the Sensei for the other part of the quest. But most importantly, the fact that you can drive around is just perfect. I started selling Nafe as soon as I opened, and it's going like hotcakes. At this rate, it really could become a local specialty. All right, I've got to do what I can to expand the market. All right, choose a Sensei. Gotta get all of the treasures. And also slaughter all of the monsters. Across the desert in a car with no name. Actually, what kind of car is that? That's a Lena. Makes sense it would be. Got it. Got it. Yeah, think that. Wait, that. Cherub shot. He went full Gerard Dantes. Goliath. Ooh, that'll be really good. Especially on stunned enemies. There's a small oasis here. Revelation. Elephant. We're probably not going to finish everything. Okay, that's definitely a later on. And let's see what Nanapalooza looks like. And finally, we did cross Cypher. Let's see what Cavalry Bolt looks like. How does this work? Got it. Here we go. That would be nice and cool, actually. Right up until that point. And now we open up. It's Lapis. Got it. All right. But that's where we'll leave it for today. Yeah. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you all for joining me today. I will be back again tonight and later on with War Tales. And yeah, this is great. I'm loving this. Alrighty, but now let's go say hi to somebody else who is currently live. Um, and let's go say hi to our buddy. Alrighty. Well, take care of yourselves, everybody. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.